Welcome Year 1 and Year 2. Mr. Birch here for some cricket this week. We're going to take forward some of the fundamental movements you've done the last couple of weeks with Miss Stoneman, and we're going to move them into the cricket game side today and moving forward this week. First little drill we've got set up is a little warm-up for you. It's just a diamond or a sort of sideways square with 4 cones with 4 balls. It doesn't have to be balls, it could be anything you've got, fruit, rolled up pairs of socks, anything you've got around your house. What's going to happen is, Mr. Balfour helps me, somebody's going to call a colour for you, you're going to run to that colour, you're going to pick up the ball, throw it up in the air, clap, catch the ball and put it back down again before coming back to the middle of the square. Let's have a look at what it looks like.
Yellow. Red. Blue. Orange. Blue.
Okay, so now you've seen how it's meant to be done at the beginning, so that's the first stage. You can make it a little bit harder by putting some of these different variations into it. You can, instead of calling out the colour of cone, if you don't have different coloured cones, you can call out the clock face. So obviously 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You can call out directions, north, east, south, west. You could use the different things around you. So I've got the field that way, I've got the school over there, I've got the hedge behind me, and I've got the camera in front of me. So if I'm standing in the middle and someone shouts camera, I'm going to run up to the first one and come down. If someone shouts field, this way, come up, clap, down again. If we were doing it around a clock face, it might be 12 o'clock, come to 12 o'clock, same, 3 o'clock, go to 3 o'clock, same, 6 o'clock, come back, and so on. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can do all sorts of things. As you come to collect the ball, you can go up, you can do 2 claps, you can see how many claps you can do. If you're really feeling brave, you can try throwing the ball up, spinning around and catching it. Okay, so now you're warm and you've had a bit of ball familiarity with the catching, we're going to move on to the coconut shy. So obviously I've set this up with cones and stumps, but use whatever you've got in your house or in your garden. Could be a bench, these could be sort of tins of beans or something like that, and you could have a tennis ball, literally anything that you've got in your garden. Trying to think of an example now. Ironing boards, you can keep them out on to throw underneath to. Anything that you could knock something off, you can use. Try and be as creative as possible. All we're going to do for this is we're going to focus on the underarm throw, and we're going to be trying to knock off as many of the balls as possible. Obviously I've got these ones. Hopefully when I hit one, all 3 are going to come off, and the ones down on the cones, they're going to be a little bit more difficult to get because it's a smaller target and they're lower to the ground, so they're not just going to fall off. When we're looking at our underarm throw, what I want you to remember is that it's our opposite foot comes forward to the hand we're using to bowl. So if I'm right-handed, my left foot is going to come forward and I'm going to bring my right hand under my arm to push the ball forward. Let's have a look, see if I can do it under pressure. There we go. I don't think I'm going to get that one. Ooh. 2 out of 3. Okay, so now I'm going to reset and I'm going to set some different progressions for you to have a go at. Okay, so now you've had a go at that, maybe have 2 or 3 goes to get yourself familiar with that opposite foot, opposite arm, underarm throw. And now we've added in our first progression. So I've got a traffic light system behind me, a green, orange and a red, getting further away from the target. I'm going to start at the red. I'm going to have 3 attempts to try and knock off as many balls as possible. I'm going to come forward to orange, have the same, and if I've still got some to knock off, which I probably will, I'm going to come to green and have a go. Let's see if I can do it. It's quite far away. Oh! Okay, so now I've moved forward to orange, see if I can do any better. Oh. There we go. Oh no. Okay, now I've moved forward to green. I've still got the hardest ones left by remembering that left foot forward, right underarm. Oh man. Oh, glued on. There we go. I've still got the ones on the cones, but I managed to knock all of the ones off the stumps off. If you've still got these, pick up the 3 balls, go back and start again. So, you've had a go at practicing hitting them off the balls off the stumps, you've had a go practicing your underarm throw with your opposite foot, and you've done the first progression with the traffic light system maybe 2 or 3 times. If you're finding that really easy and you're having loads of success, now we're going to move on to the clock face progression, okay? So not always in cricket, we're not going to be aiming at all 3 stumps. Sometimes we're going to be throwing in from the side and we're only going to be able to see 1 of the 3 stumps, okay? So that's what this is practicing. So you've got 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. They're obviously aiming at the wide, and then you've got 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Or if you're using your field and school method, you've got the field and school cones that are looking into just 1 of the stumps. So you're just going to take each ball and see how many you can hit, maybe do it 3 or 4 times, okay? So I'm going to start from this side. Still remembering that I'm going to pick the ball up with my throwing hand, step forward with my opposite leg and push the ball forward. See, I've still got the 2 on the cone, so I'm going to reset and have another go. Okay, year 1 and year 2, here's another small drill for you to have a go at to practice that underarm throw. You can make this distance as wide or as short as you think you can do. If you want to really challenge yourself, make it further away, and if you're finding it a bit more difficult, you just want to practice, keep it in this sort of short distance. So again, I've got my 3 balls, I'm standing on this side, my partner's standing on that side behind the stumps. If you don't have a partner, it doesn't matter, you can just set up the cones as I've got them set up in a 4-3-2-1 sort of triangle, and all I'm going to do is stand behind my cone, and using my underarm throwing technique that I know, I'm going to try and hit as many of the cones as possible. When I hit them, I get to pick them up and I bring them back to my pile. So let's have a look. I'm remembering that opposite foot to opposite hand. So I hit a cone, so I get to go over, pick that cone up and bring it back, put it in my pile. If I was with my partner, it would now be my partner's go. Again, from behind their stumps, they're going to opposite hand, opposite leg. Again, I got a hit. So I'm going to take that cone that I hit, just 1, and I'm going to replace it. Then it would be me again, opposite foot, opposite hand, and I've come through and I've got a hit. So I pick that cone up and I put it back. To make this more difficult or to progress, as I said, you can move the cones further away from each other, or you can take out the stumps or whatever you've got set up behind. It might be a wheelie bin or a wall or something like that. You can remove that so there's no backboard, so you have to have a direct hit, and that will make it a little bit harder. Good luck. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, what do you do if you don't have any of this equipment? So it's really easy to do this sort of activity with everyday household objects. So a favourite of mine is to get a pair of socks and screw them together so they're in sort of a ball shape. I know all of you have got loads of pairs, especially of sports and school socks, so you can have them all in a big pile, find yourself a bucket, or you could draw like a chalk ring on the floor, or you could have anything there really, a towel to land the socks on, anything you like. If you do happen to have a lot of tennis balls or wind balls or something like that, that's great, and you can use them. This time you're going to challenge yourself. It's going to be a game and challenge. You're going to time yourself for 1 minute, get someone to time you, and using your underarm throw technique, you're going to see how many balls or pairs of socks you can get in the bucket in 1 minute. Let's see how I get on. Oh no. that's time up. So that's a minute. See how many I got in a minute. I did miss quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've only got 7 to beat. I reckon you could all beat that. Have a go at it. Remember, left foot forward, right underarm, right foot forward, left underarm. Okay, I hope you have fun giving these a go. Remember, opposite foot to opposite hand. If you're finding that when you're releasing the ball it's not getting as far as your target, you need to let go of the ball a little bit later, okay? Because it means you're letting go too early and it's landing too short. If you let go a bit later, it's going to go even further. Likewise, if you're going really far past, try and let go a little bit earlier, and that will bring the length and the distance of your throw back to near your target. So experiment with those different levels, okay? Further and shorter.